My name is Fernando Dias Simões. I'm originally from Portugal. I'm associate professor here at STL. This is my 12th year in China. I started my academic career in Portugal, in my home country. Then I moved to China in 2011, first at University of Macau, then I moved to the Chinese University of Hong Kong. I spent 2 years back in Europe, and now I'm back in China. And my main fields of research are international dispute settlement, so I conduct research mostly on commercial arbitration and investment arbitration. I already knew about STL for a long time because I was based in the region and it's so close to the border with Macau and Hong Kong, being a part of the Greater Bay Area, and I knew it was a quite unique law school. I think it's mostly the sense of community. I think it's a very close-knit community, both of scholars and students. There's really a very vibrant atmosphere in terms of teaching and research. I teach conflict of laws, international commercial arbitration, and also transnational energy law and policy. I'm having a lot of fun, and I hope the students can say the same. Well, I had a quite memorable moment last term when the students in the last class offered me a bouquet of flowers, and that's something that I got a bit emotional, even though I have a poker face, but it really touched me to see how nice and kind they were. I hope that they can make the best of the opportunities that they have here at STL. In the sense, I always tell students that law is a technical language that you pick up during your time in law school, but you have to keep studying your whole life. The most important thing for them is to start thinking like lawyers, and in the future they acquire the skills that they need in the future to keep on working and thinking as lawyers. When they look back at their time at STL and have fond memories of learning, but also evolving as persons and as professionals. I would focus mostly on being open to not only legal cultural differences, but also legal differences, being open to explore new problems and new solutions from a different viewpoint. We all need to learn a bit more about international law and about comparative law in a sense. Well, the experience has been quite positive. That's why I returned this year after spending 2 years in Europe. It has been really a fascinating journey. I think that to live and to work in such a dynamic place, the more you learn about other cultures, the more you also learn about yourself, so to speak. So it has been quite memorable experience. Traveling and drumming. I really like music, so those are my two main hobbies. I think increasingly it's important for any law student to start thinking like an international lawyer, because in the future we will all, as lawyers, have to be knowledgeable about international law, because law is increasingly transnational. And that's exactly the unique approach that we take here at STL. You need to embrace cultural but also legal diversity, and that's what we try to do here. And I think students at STL are exposed from an early stage to that openness, to working in international setting and thinking like an international lawyer. Already as a student, you get a sense of how in the future engaging with different cultures and lawyers from different jurisdictions will be a common feature of your daily work. That was something that 20 years ago, when I was a law student, I was not even close to imagine how transnational many of our most important legal problems are right now. As I mentioned, it's mostly to rethink the core concepts that we take for granted. I would suggest that, of course, China plays increasingly a driving role in international lawmaking. And so there are plenty of opportunities for legal professionals who want to be a part of that process, because increasingly China will be at the forefront of international lawmaking and policy making. Well, China already has a rich experience of being a part of international organizations such as the United Nations Commission. We all know that China is playing an increasingly important role in the global stage, and that of course includes being part of lawmaking institutions and policy-making institutions. For instance, in my own field at the United Nations Commission on International Trade Law, of course China will be more and more not simply a rule follower, but also a rule maker and a rule shaper, and so that's why it's so important to have legal professionals that can support in those efforts. International trade law, and with an increasingly large pool of very skilled legal professionals, China will, I believe, increasingly play a very important role in that regard. É prazer e orgulho fazer parte da comunidade da STL e espero que desfrutem de todos os momentos que vão passar connosco. It's a pleasure and an honor to be a part of the STL community, and I wish that students make the best of every moment they have with us.